I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today I'm here at CES in the Panasonic Creator Studio. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Nick, how'd you get this job?
I was in traditional film and television, working for one of the big agencies in Hollywood. And when I left, I created a documentary which I couldn't get anyone to be interested in. And I knew it was a good idea, so I went out and I spent time in the world of YouTube and Facebook, which for an older guy was like, you know, a new journey. And I realized the power of community. And through basically activating a bunch of campaigns, the promo for the documentary became incredibly successful. And through that journey of trying to figure out how to sell my documentary, I founded a company called Sharability. And we're a company that basically is passionate about why people share what they share. So right now what we do is we create viral brands, viral videos for brands. And so it's a classic example of looking for a solution to my problem. I stumbled upon this universe of communities that if you speak to them in the right way, they'll all come together and support you.
Give us an idea of some of the content we may have seen on YouTube.
Well, one of our most successful videos was actually the fourth most successful viral video of 2015 was a video we did for a brand called Rock, actually. It's a brand new headphone company, and we partnered with Cristiano Ronaldo, who's a soccer player of some renown internationally. And we did a video where we took him, who's in the middle of Madrid, to a square where he's the most recognizable person in Spain, let alone Madrid. And we put him into a fat suit and a wig and a beard. And he was busking with a football for an hour and a half, 2 hours, trying to make money, and no one cared.
¿Quieres dar el número de teléfono? No. Un caño. ¡Uy! 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 Un cansancio, ¿eh? Viaja, un gol. Wow. Oh, otra vez, de cabeza. Cabeza. Yeah. Olé. Opa. Muestra lo que sabes hacer, dribles, así. Toma, toma. Ah, bien. Muy bien. Digo, un minuto. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Nicolás.
Ahora sí. Hablan para ti. And then he ultimately took off his disguise. He started playing football with a little boy. And of course, within 3 seconds, the square was completely crammed. And that video went on to do 70 million views on Facebook and YouTube, and was, as I said, the fourth most shareable video of the whole of last year. And that really proves a point to us. We're interested in giving value to people because there's too much information, there's too many videos. So why do you care? So our goal is to try and put the message within the entertainment. So that video is about you having a good time watching that video and enjoying it. And if I did my job right and you had that great experience, at the end there's like a tag. And I think the reason that what we do is relatively successful is we do videos for people, for them. We don't do it for the brand. So first we try and get you to like us, right? I.e. the brand. And then once we have a relationship, just like in a relationship with people in the bar, now you can start saying, hey, check out my stuff. So, but we're passionate about why do you share pictures? Why do you share videos, right? So we come from that place of you first, the consumer, and then we come backwards to the brand and say, now how does that work for the brand?
So I have a couple of questions. I want to unpack that a little bit. So how do you know what consumers want? And then the other follow-up question is, we know that you can't make or manufacture a viral video, but there certainly are some components that help a video go viral more than others.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit.
Well, the great thing about everything in life is the more you fail, the more you learn, and we fail a lot because that's the only way to find out if you've got something or not. Over the 2 years the company's been going, we've started putting processes in place. But my background is storyteller. I mean, I was lucky with my documentary that I went on to win an Academy Award, which is unbelievable. But it was about I broke through the clutter. I had this video that no one cared about. I broke through the clutter, people watched it, they liked it, and then they shared it. And that gave me exposure, and then exposure led to awareness, which led to a nomination. So one of the things we always think about is the emotional journey. So one of the things we always ask ourselves is when we come up with an idea is, do I care? Because there's the video you don't watch, there's a video you watch a bit of, there's a video you watch all of it, and then there's the video which is you actually share it. And that, of course, as we all know, is the hardest thing to do. So we are very, very critical about making sure that we deliver value in the video. So I guess one of the things is we're super, super hard on ourselves, and we're all about giving value. If the video doesn't actually make you laugh, make you smile, make you emotional, make you feel good, make you want to reach out to someone and share the experience, then you pretty much lost it. And if you only just use those things, and the other thing is, same as selling a film or a TV show, go tell 6 strangers your idea. If they say, I don't care, well then you don't need me to tell you this is not going to work. And if you tell 6, 7 people the idea, they go, oh, I like that, what else? You kind of got something. So we work a lot with, not internally, but also we have a lot of external processes where we reach out to people and just say, what do you think?
So you're listening.
A lot of listening, a lot of fine tuning, a lot of changing stuff. But the biggest thing I think a lot of people don't do is they don't listen. And I think it's about ego, get rid of the ego. YouTubers are putting everything they have on the line, right? You see all the good and the bad bits, but they listen. And the ones that are successful are the ones that listen to what people are saying, give people what they're asking for, and if people have criticism, and a lot of people have the same criticism, you have to listen. And I think brands are so big and there are so many points of entry. How do you, as the CMO of a big corporation, know where to listen? And then there's always, on digital, as you know, there are haters. Doesn't matter what you do, there are haters. And if you're not used to digital, you go, it kind of freaks you out. So it's just understanding the flows and rhythms of the internet. And also we've done videos with people that have just been trending. So you jump on it very quickly, you do the video, you release it very quickly, and you stay in the trend. If you go for someone else who's 6 months too late, no one cares. So it really comes down to a lot of living in the space, looking at what people are doing, making sure you don't do stuff that people have already done, and really making sure that you just listen to everybody. If someone says, I have kids, I have a 90-year-old and a 60-year-old, and then my daughter says, nah, you listen.
So give us an idea, a lot of people who watch this show are creators and they're making their own videos. How much do you spend to test and to fail on a daily, on a project basis?
So we have we're in ideation all the time. And then when we have ideation, we have processes that we keep running through, and we're basically trying to get the top 10% of ideas to come through the top, right? That involves internal work as well as external work. It involves kind of surveys and stuff like that. Super amounts of research. Look at who's come before you, has someone done something similar? Has someone done something which has elements of it, but they didn't execute it? We did a video for a company called Fresh Pet, which was animals with human hands. So we launched it a year ago, and we did the new Christmas one. Super, super successful. The ratio of sharing on the video was running at one point at 10%, which is unheard of, right? We had 400,000 views and we had 4,000 shares. It was like, right? I'm sorry, 40,000 shares, which is crazy. But people had played around with animals and human hands and had done them, but they hadn't executed very well. So we said, we're going to do it full out. So we did it with 13 dogs and a cat, big studio, big shoot, and we also made sure that each animal had their own identity. So you go, oh, that's my nephew, oh my God, that's my uncle, oh, that's my grandma. So people started identifying. And then one of the things we worked really hard to do is find value. So we ended up teaming with a humane organization. So half the animals came from a shelter. So not only do we give food to the shelter, the company, the brand, all the animals in the video ended up being adopted, which was awesome, and also became like a kind of a promotional device for the pet shelters to say, guys, there's really amazing animals out there. Don't go buy a puppy, go inherit a dog. So we kind of we managed to hit all the bases. It was a feel-good project. We did good things for animals. Animals lovers loved it. And if you've got a cat or a dog, you're like, oh my God, like it just really resonated.
And what was the investment?
So videos range depending on complexity, but let's say $200,000 is kind of as a range. It really depends on the complexity and stuff like that. The other thing that we do is we don't just do the ideation and the production. The marketing of the video is a very big component. And I think if you are used to giving great content to people want great content. So if we can do a great piece of content which isn't an overt brand video which says how great is the brand, then people want to share that. So if you're into photography and we do an amazing video which is about photography, which is telling you how to use a camera or interviewing someone who's an amazing person, you're now watching a video about something you care about. I'm actually educating you with stuff, right? I'm adding value to you.
Giving them what they want.
So now you go, hey, I have my own website. I'm going to basically share that video with all my followers because you're giving me value. So now what happens is you, as the person who has the website or the Facebook page, is giving all your readers a piece of value content. We gave it to you, it didn't cost you anything, but now we win because you're sharing it with us. So in a perfect world, it's a beautiful win-win. Now, if we can replicate that 1,000 times, we use the analogy of the snowball. So when most people put a video up, unless you've already got 1 million subscribers, you go, how do people see it? Well, what we do is we basically go out and we look to find people that will be interested in the content, and we say, hey, we think you might like this. That's a very simplistic explanation. But if you can do that with 500 or 1,000 people in the first few days of launching the video, now your snowball, rather than launching like a little pebble going down the hill, is now this big. Because I've already got 1,000 people to go, oh my God, I love that video, I'm sharing it. So my snowball actually starts here, and as it rolls down the hill, 250,000, 500,000, 1 million. So the idea is to try and find like-minded people that share the interest of the video that you're doing.
Do you have these people in a database, or is there some sort of list?
It's a combination of personal relationships, technical skill sets, a bunch of other special juices, I suppose you'd say. It's kind of a combination of everything. And also, when you get a reputation for doing the kind of stuff that we do, we now get Japanese television call us, German television call us. There are shows that actually want to show great videos. So now what happened is actually going from digital, and it's being transferred to kind of online traditional television. So the client is now, we've been on Good Morning America twice with our videos. So you've got like $1 million endorsement on Good Morning America for the brand, which you can't buy, So, but again, the video has to be value. It's not like, hey, buy this, do this. We're all about trying to give you something that educates you, that inspires you, makes you laugh.
What mistakes have you made?
What mistakes have we made? If you use influencers or certain people's platforms, you really need to make sure that the demo or the audience for the video is a complete mix for that. You could have the same age group, but you could have a different interest.
Yeah.
So,
edgy or color or whatever.
Let's say you've got someone who's got a very strong female audience that's young, and you do something that is perhaps more nostalgic, like an older brand. Well, the young millennials don't understand the older brand, so you kind of have a disconnect.
Yeah. So you've done that before?
We made that mistake. What other mistakes we made? Timing is really important in terms of when you launch the video, the day you launch the video. I think also for us, we don't look at ourselves as a company that makes a video. We're basically trying to create a media package, which if you do it at the right time, and it's very intensive work, everything happens at the same time, you can kind of break through the clutter, because the big issue is with, I think, 200,000 hours of YouTube every day, how do you get noticed? So the idea is to try and now bring all the channels together. So in the case of Rock, you know, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, there is a plan for each of those that kind of help support each other. So one, you know, so on Instagram, you'll post a little bit of the video, and if you do that right, you can have a link which gets you somewhere else. So you just keep trying to cross-connect all the pieces.
So it's the perfect storm.
Well, it works perfectly, yeah. And then the other big thing that really makes it work is you get people writing about you. So you have all these journalists, from the big ones like HuffPost and BuzzFeed and Mashable, to kind of the newer websites. Everybody wants to write about something. So the trick with the video also, if you get it right, is how do I create something that is interesting, that you want to share, but also that the journalist goes, oh, I love that.
It's a case study.
Right, so that doesn't always happen. I mean, we traditionally always get a certain amount of pickup, but as you said, you never know when it's going to go. You know, I think on the Ronaldo video, we had 2,500 media placements. So that meant actual publications who had a digital following, newspapers, big websites, actually wrote a story about the video. And because also quite often we'll do a behind the scenes video, the journalist gets to see the video, see how we made it, and then they literally write a story based on the information they have. Yeah. So we don't, they don't call us up normally and interview us. They're like, oh, I got it. I'm on a deadline. I love it. I love it. But now what happens is we have access to all their viewers because, again, we've given them value. You know, I keep coming back to the value word again. You know.
Maybe share some parting words of wisdom for new creators. People, you know, we're in this creator studio, this garage atmosphere. You know, a lot of great companies are starting in a garage, and I think it's tough for a lot of people getting started because they want success in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or months. The reality is, it doesn't always happen like that. What's your advice to them?
I think the main thing is passion, right? This is not, as you say, this is not like a, hey, I'm going to do it for 4 weeks and see what happens. If you do it, it should be because you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then I don't know if you can have the stamina for it. Yeah. The other thing is I think you have to have passion in what it is you're doing. So if you love photography, for example, if you have passion and you really have a passion, it will come across. If you're doing it because you think there's a hole in the market, now the authenticity, just that energy that comes across with people, I don't think will be there. And I think the main thing is you want to look at people who are in your space, because although you could say I'm competitive with people that talk about photography, you know what? If you have something to say and you have a real voice, people will see that. And ultimately, if you love something and someone else loves it, you know, I think also partnerships. You know, be aware of who else is in your community, connect with them. If you really love what you do and you're really good at what you do and they do the same, there'll be mutual respect and there'll be opportunities to kind of help each other out. But I think the underlying thing for me is you really got to have a passion for the thing that you want to do, whether that's be a comedian and talk about the daily news, whether it's a specialty like photography or something, you really have to live that, because if you live it, because as you start, not only are you doing the videos, you're doing your own social, right? You're doing your own Twitter, your own Facebook. And with success, you have people help you. But if you don't have that passion to be up at midnight going, oh, now I got to do my Facebook stuff, it's not going to work, I don't think.
All right, we've been spending a little time with Nick Reed. Nick, thanks for coming by.
Thank you very much.